Welcome to Hannity. The midterms, they are only 15 days away, and tonight we are in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, where in just a moment we will be joined by Republican Senate candidate Blake Masters. Any Blake fans here? Okay. Gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake will join us, who has now opened up a 3-point lead against Democrat, gutless, cowardly Katie Hobbs in the latest Trafalgar poll. Hobbs, who is currently collecting a paycheck as Arizona's Secretary of State, has only shown up to work a grand total of 19 days in the last 6 months. I wish I had that job. She didn't even enter office for the entire month of April and August. And meanwhile, Hobbs is not exactly out there working hard on the campaign trail either. She has participated, and this is so unfair to you, the hardworking citizens, taxpayers of this state of Arizona. 0 debates. She refuses to debate in both the primary and the general election. Katie Hobbs would rather hide in her basement bunker, just like her mentor, Joey Biden, who's probably asleep during this show. Anyway, Kari Lake, meanwhile, has offered to debate any place, anytime, anywhere. Hobbs can't seem to muster up the courage. Take a look.
Why have you refused to debate your opponent? She wants to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with you with a moderator.
Look, it is honestly ridiculous that somebody who has based their whole campaign on these lies that are intended to dismantle our democracy, that somehow the problem is that I won't give her a bigger stage to do that.
Why not challenge her, though, in a public forum? I'm just curious.
As far as I'm concerned, the debate about debates is over. I'm running my campaign the way I'm running my campaign. I'm going to continue to make the case directly to voters.
At worst, it could come off as you're scared to step on that stage. And at best, you're not willing to confront. We're in a new era where sometimes some politicians are seen as bullies. And we've been taught since we were little kids, you got to stand up to a bully. You understand how that might come across. How do you make a case? We want to send you to fight for us, but you won't even step on stage with it.
I have stood up to this bully for the past 2 years, and Arizonans have seen that, and I'm going to continue to do that.
No, the real reason is she's gutless, and she knows that she would be unable to defend her radical positions. Let's go through them. For example, she supports no limitations on abortion whatsoever. That would mean you can have an abortion up until the very moment of birth. That would be called infanticide. You might recall during the pandemic, she opposed the deportation of illegal immigrants, and her only plan to address the border crisis is to provide amnesty for illegal immigrants. She does not support a border wall. She does not support federal funding for more border agents, but they do like IRS agents, the Democrats. They like them a lot. In fact, she really doesn't seem to care about the border crisis at all, actually telling a local paper, quote, "It's ridiculous that we're talking about this as a core issue in the governor's race." No, that would be a primary issue. Now, meanwhile, during her time in the Arizona state legislature, Hobbs regularly opposed tax cuts, but she did support a $500 million sales tax increase and also voted to hire more than 100 new state tax collectors. She's also faced a variety of scandals, listen to this, including allegations of racial discrimination from a state Senate staffer. It resulted in Arizona taxpayers shelling out $300,000 on behalf of Katie Hobbs, and that's not all. Multiple former campaign staffers accused Hobbs of fostering what is an emotionally abusive work environment, and last spring, nearly 80% of her initial staffers, they quit. They didn't want to work for her. And by the way, if you now support or have ever voted for Donald Trump, Katie Hobbs hates you. In fact, on Twitter, she called Trump supporters, quote, neo-Nazis. Now, Katie Hobbs is a classic far-left keyboard warrior behind a computer screen. She is an outspoken bully, but in real life, she is a cowardly, incompetent, self-absorbed, narcissist moron. That has never been more apparent than during this town hall. Simple question. Take a look.
What have you learned, specifically learned from the Latino community?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't necessarily think about it that way in those terms. My sister-in-law, she is Latino, and her family, I love hanging out with them and practicing my Espanol un poquito. Arizona wouldn't be Arizona without the what the Latino community brings.
So there's not one specific lesson you could share with me, other than Espanol with you. It's 1/3 of the state.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I mean, I think there's many lessons.
Now, the people of Arizona, they deserve better. And thankfully, there is someone who is willing and able to work hard every day and stand up for the people of this great state. And it is definitely not Katie Hobbs.